Hey everyone, happy Wednesday, hump day, and it is time, as you guessed, for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, let's see what happened around here today. This one I didn't really do much on per se. However, I did take the battery, which I suspected being bad, and it had maybe 7 volts in it. I took it to AutoZone. It's an AutoZone battery, and had them charge it for a few hours. Came back, they did a load test on it, and it's okay. So that's great. Great news for the owner, especially. They don't need to buy a new battery. So yeah, I think I'm not sure. Maybe tomorrow or Friday, I'll put the battery in this thing and fire it up, and I gotta adjust the carburetor and stuff like that. I'm wondering if it may have a drain on the battery when the car is sitting. I'm not sure yet, but I'll check that out. But that was kind of the main thing I accomplished on this one today, just getting the battery sorted out, and was glad to find out that it's good. So that's that. Since I'm standing here next to this beauty, Jacob again worked on this and pretty much continued stripping the car, this time concentrating on the front here. So you can see he made a lot of progress. So gas tank obviously is out. The fresh air system, so that box that goes under there that gets fresh air from the hood, is out, and all those tubes. The charcoal canister is there, and that thing has hoses running every which way. This is around the era when they were trying to collect gas fumes and stuff like that as far as pollution is concerned. So had him go ahead and document all that stuff as far as the routing of all those tubes. We don't work on a lot of cars this late. So unlike earlier cars that we pretty much know like the back of our hand, some of those little subtle things like how some of those hoses are routed, we go ahead and document it, especially when we have a very original car like this, and then we'll put it back how it was. So yeah, lots of progress to hint on this one. He did a great job as always, carefully removing all this stuff and again documenting it so we put it back together exactly correct. So yeah, that was kind of the main accomplishment here. Slowly but surely coming apart. So other than getting the battery tested for that one, I'm feeling kind of bad about the 67 Beetle because it's sitting back here looking kind of lonely. So I decided to give it some love today. And by that, I mean work on its motor. And so the motor just had a lot of details that still weren't done. So that's what I worked on today. And a lot of those things don't seem like they'd take very long, but then they end up taking a long time. You guys know how it is. So anyway, I went ahead and installed his fuel pump and his distributor, which I had completely tore apart, cleaned it. There's like a little ground cable in there on these that connects to the points plate to the body here. That was little ground cable in there was broken, so resoldered that. All that stuff ends up just taking time. And then reassembled this with new little shims and all that good stuff, those little fiber shims. I guess they're fiber. Anyway, so that's all back together. It doesn't have a set of points in it yet. I will order those from Wolfsburg and get those lickety split. I went ahead and got some plug wires and routed those, put on a new, obviously 12 volt coil. What else did I do? Both pulleys, which, they didn't just go right on, of course. So I don't know what was up with this crank pulley, because this is the pulley that came off this car. This thing was just not wanting to go on the crank. And I don't remember that we replaced the crank either. So maybe it was just super tight, but I spent some time kind of like lightly sanding and filing the inside of this pulley to get it to go on, most of the way, and then the last bit you kind of pull it on with the bolt. But it was too tight to my liking, so spent some time there. And it had some powder coating that had kind of made it onto that threaded snout that goes in the case, so I had to clean all that up. And then likewise, these pulleys, these two-piece pulleys, well, they're all two-piece, but you know, there was some powder coating that had to be removed to actually get these pieces to fit together. So it's easy to kind of underestimate how long all that stuff takes, but it adds up. Anyway, so yeah, I went ahead and put this on, picked up the grommet from it, which I had neglected to order, but I really wanted to put this on. Luckily, Eddie over at Eddie and Dave's Garage had one of those, so I grabbed one of those from him, and the plug wires and a couple other little things while I was at it, just so I could keep the progress going here. Put these clamps on that kind of connect the heater boxes to the muffler so that this air can go from the fan shroud into that and then through the heater boxes. So yeah, all those little things, getting these kind of set so that they're going to line up with the holes on the breastplate. You know, lots of fiddling around with stuff like that. These preheat tubes, so on a 67, there's 2 of these that go onto, there's sort of a snorkel on each side of the 67 only air cleaner, and then each of those gets a connection to one of these tubes that kind of like draws air off after it comes down from cooling the cylinder head, so it ends up being kind of pre-warmed air, and it gets pulled up these and then into the air cleaner. So there's one of those on each side on a 67. So yeah, just getting those little things fitted, and the goal being to probably not going to happen this week, but I need to fire this engine up, and I plan to do it on a test stand, which I'm pretty much ready to finish putting together, and do the cam brake in, all that stuff with the motor on a test stand. And then and only then, when that all goes well, fingers crossed, will it go in the car. Because as the regulars around this channel know, been burned way too many times by putting motors that hadn't been run before into cars only to have them leak or make noises or whatever. So from now on, all motors will be run, cam break-ins will be done, etc., on the test stand, and then and only then go into their respective cars. So kind of a big thing for us here to start doing that. It's really going to streamline the process and avoid many a headache that we've had in recent times. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, so I think that's kind of what I installed on this one today. And yeah, again, I think I already went over this. Jacob took apart Mr. Rafa. I don't think I mentioned what Mr. Rafa did. So absolutely no one will be surprised that he worked on the Barndoor today. And pretty much focused on the cargo doors, which, this being a right-hand drive, are on the left side of the bus. Super cool, right? Unlike this one sitting right next to it, which is a left-hand drive, then the doors are always on the opposite side of where the driver sits. So kind of cool. Anyway, so yeah, Rafa put on the external handle here. And actually, before he did that, if we're going in chronological order, he put on the right little stoppers, which on a Barndoor are kind of tiny compared to the later ones, which are a bit fatter. So it's cool that we managed to source these correct ones for this early bus. And yeah, I put in all the mechanisms. This handle is actually not right. I think we do have one which is not chrome that is correct for this bus. This is more for like a deluxe, all chrome and shiny. Nah, not on a combi. These things were super basic and didn't have too many shiny bits on them. And this is one bit they had that was not shiny. But anyway, so mechanism all went together. Seals went in. Likewise on this side. I can find it here. Yeah, likewise on this side, this whole mechanism went in, which can really be a pain in the ass on these things, I gotta tell you. So there's the top latch, you can see extends up into the body right there when you close it. That's how it latches. So there's one of these on the top and bottom, so the door is secure top and bottom, as you would expect. So yeah, big job actually putting all that together today on these things. These mechanisms, anyone on here who's done them before, they can be pretty finicky to get them to work right. And sometimes you gotta grind things and just kind of a lot of messing around sometimes to get everything to work proper the way you like it. So it works great now though. Look at that. Boom. So that was pretty much Rafa's day spent right here working on these. Again, the seals, the latches, the mechanisms, all that good stuff. I think he also worked on the latch mechanism for the deck lid, which is still with our guy that's doing all our color standing and buffing. But he did, I think, go through the actual latch mechanism itself so that when we get that door back and we're ready to actually fit it on there, then it'll be ready to go. So that was it for today, guys. A little bit shorter episode than usual, but yeah, that's it. So again, appreciate you guys all watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.